welcome to the EMA Cloud Rant of the week. This is the first edition, and what we want to do is talk about, in this case, the three most notable patterns and topics that we discover as we talk to vendors and customers and partners all week. Jens, and my number one topic was the IBM DevOps strategy. I find this very interesting because they are not just saying, hey, software is just gonna be better and faster and cheaper and more flexible than Amazon, right? They have really recognized, we are not gonna beat Amazon in infrastructure as a service.
Yeah, so they need to come up with something additional, some sort of value app, some sort of methodology. And I think they told you some news, what they are offering here.
Right. It's a fascinating strategy. Bluemix we've known for 3-4 years and we've written about a lot. But now it has really matured and they have gotten rid of their old cloud platform, of their old smart cloud parts a while ago. And now their cloud is called Bluemix. And they have developed this garage method where they have garages all over the world, and they basically want you to send them your developers, your DevOps team, so that they can instill that DevOps culture, that agile design focused culture. It's a very, very interesting principle, and Bluemix is also for legacy workloads, also for all kinds of apps born in the cloud and very old applications that you may not have any idea what to do with. So I find that interesting, and Jens, compared to what VMware is doing with Amazon, especially interesting, right?
Yeah, well, VMware and Amazon is okay, but not something completely out of the ordinary. No methodology, it's just like using Amazon as their data center kind of. That's what's known at the moment here. But how does this work with the garage method? Can I now send my guys over to IBM and tell them, hey guys, do you want to learn it, how they do it in the Silicon Valley, or what do you think?
IBM is a services company, right? They definitely do like to charge you for services. So I'm sure you can send your guys over. No, absolutely. The garages are design centers where they have their latest and greatest methodologies, their biggest experts, so that yes, you are as agile as the guys in the Silicon Valley. It's fascinating, but for guys like you who can of course not afford that because they're poor, there's also a web portal and you can read up on it and you can try it out there and you can get pretty far there as well.
Okay, sounds like Lego for business, kind of doing innovation your own way in the garage style.
I love that. Lego for business. That's exactly what it is. And it is differentiated. And is it going to catch on? Is it going to work out? Or is it going to go the way of the smart cloud? I don't know. I hope it works out because it's, again, those guys are so enthusiastic and it is really, really fun to watch what they are doing, and it's the right thing to do. But again, sometimes the right thing doesn't work, and that brings us to our next topic, and that is OpenStack. And there's an interesting company, so many dead bodies, Piston, Nebula, MetaCloud, but there's now an interesting company called ZeroStack. And again, they say we'll bring OpenStack to the masses. Jens, what do you think of bringing OpenStack to the masses with a startup?
Well, Torsten, I think we discussed this before. I was kind of skeptical about bringing OpenStack to the masses because masses implies small business. And do they run it themselves, or where's the catch?
The catch is, it's a black box, right? They say, don't be afraid. We run this on KVM, so you don't have to pay the VMware tax any longer. So work with our hardware partners, work with Cisco, buy UCS, work with Dell, work with HPE, and buy the boxes, and we get you that software, and we manage it from the cloud, meaning that when the next version of OpenStack comes out, or when any updates to OpenStack are made, they guarantee that your applications are not going to go down. So the principle is great, right?
Taking the pain out of OpenStack, you mean? Yeah, sounds like a plan, basically. Would be great to see it in action. I was surprised, actually. I didn't know Piston was dead. Okay. Well, surprise, surprise. Okay.
Right. Yeah. And the final topic today is mobility of application workloads. So this week I've talked to a myriad, and you as well, a myriad of vendors that deal with the issue of making your workload, your application, portable between multiple clouds, right? Because we've talked about the topic that it's very difficult to match a workload to a cloud or to a virtualization platform. And once you're in, right? You can't get out anymore. You pay. Or you find out that you made a mistake a year later when you had some horrible SLA violation that cost you a ton of money. But there's those 4 companies that I find highly interesting for different reasons. And let's talk about each one of them briefly. There's our superstars from Velostrata, right? They're today's superstars. They win all the awards. Everybody finds them great, Jens. And the principle is an interesting one. It's basically a storage company, right?
Right. They separate kind of the storage from the compute. So that is an interesting take. And I think Velostrata has some interesting background in the previous companies these guys founded back in the day. So I think that's always what they were about to do, like optimizing storage kind of.
Yeah, and WAN optimization.
Right.
Yeah. So it's interesting, and when you talk to them, they show you why they believe legacy workloads are no problem, and there's no limits to what you can do and what you can onboard. So yeah, it's fascinating. There's a lot of machine learning behind it to make everything work. Will this really get customers? We'll see. Once they have customers, we talk to them. They have some, and we are scheduled to get some first impressions. I'm very curious. Next one is CloudVelox. I talked to those guys for the first time, I think, in 2012, so 4 years ago by now. The story has not changed much. The principle is they place agents on your machines in your data center. So you have agents, 20 megabyte little programs that you have to put on all of those servers. Admins usually do not like that much. However, they have a way of managing them, of addressing that issue. Still, it remains the fact that there are agents in your data center. And those agents read out your network, your security settings, they read out your server, and basically the application dependencies. And then they say to the SaaS appliance in the cloud, hey, here's the kind of environment that we need. Here's my description, in XML here, here's what I need. And then the appliance says, here is what I can do for you and how I can match up this to a target cloud like AWS or Azure. Also, fascinating principle, Jens.
Yeah, great approach, I think. Like, I don't know anything similar that does it like this. Yeah, would say. Very promising.
And as always, the devil is in the customer deployment, right? And we've received some customers, and we'll talk to them, and we see how this is going. And then we have somebody, they're kind of the odd one out here. It's called Quali. They used to be called Quali Systems, and what they do now is sandboxing. And the reason why I like it and why I'm intrigued about it, I used to talk a lot about Tosca and how Tosca abstracts workloads from the underlying infrastructure, right? It's so cool in theory, but it went the way of most standards. Nobody cared anymore, and people thought, why would I do this if it gets workloads away from me? So nobody, IBM, I think, has also, I wouldn't say given up, but they were the big proponents of Tosca, but I don't hear much anymore from them on that topic anymore. But be that as it may, Quali is taking the Tosca standard to describe target environments so that your developers have the ability to just plop in the Quali plugin, if you will, into their release management tool like Jenkins, and then Jenkins generates them an environment on a cloud of their choice, right? Also fascinating, but it's just for sandboxing and not for production workloads. So I don't know if that's a business model. What do you think?
I'm not sure if they can cover really all the aspects that the customers need. So I would love to see a demo. So I think you already had one, but I would really definitely love to see that in demo.
Jens, thank you. That was our first EMA Cloud Rant of the week, and this was fun. We'll do this again next Saturday.
Definitely, Torsten. See you.